Value-packed emails, they feel like the right thing to do, but they just don't sell, do they? You've probably tried it, right? And I can tell you now, in helping more than 9,000 paying clients, I have figured out why value-packed emails that you work your ass off to put together, why they don't sell, why they can't sell. And I'm going to unpack the psychology of why they don't sell, and of course, show you exactly what to do instead. Not only is not sending value-packed emails easier for you, but it will actually make you more sales.
The Email Marketing Show.
Hey, do you know what's amazing? Less than 25% of the people who watch my videos are even subscribed to this channel. And let's change that. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the subscribe button or smash the subscribe, like they used to say in 2021. And if you do that, it means that more of these videos that will really help you to grow your coaching business, grow your course business, will actually show up in your newsfeed. It also lets me know that you like what I'm doing here and I can keep making more videos like this. I just got done creating a brand new course called Email Marketing Sorted. And it's about the 3 psychological techniques that I've used to take one of my offers from $27,000 in sales to over $500,000 in sales. And I thought I would gift it to you for tuning into the show. So if you go to emailmarketingsorted.com, you can join, enroll in that completely for free, and look at the exact psychological strategies that I use in my email. So let's get into today's actual content. And that is, look, the big reason that I see people struggle with sending emails regularly and keeping consistent with it is that you run out of ideas, right? And many of my clients tell me this all the time. When I'm doing Q&A sessions for other people's groups, they tell me, how do you come up with all these ideas? And that happens if you're always trying to send tons of value. So what I'm going to give you today is something that sounds a little bit dreary, but I promise you it's not. It's called my corpse framework. And this is basically the 6 different types of content that you should send in your emails. Now, corpse is not all about dead bodies. In the world of theatre and acting, television and stage, actors call it corpsing when you break the illusion of the play or you react to something off script, like laughing or forgetting your lines. And that's what this is about. This is about going outside of the lines. But before we get into that, what we have to do is we have to understand the psychology of our subscribers, okay? So let's take a little look at the psychology of our subscribers. When someone joins our world, here's a person here, and they've got a problem, right? Let's imagine they've got bad back pain. They've got really bad back pain, and you're a back pain specialist. Great. So the person has back pain. They've got a problem, right? They're thinking about their back pain. Back pain. I'm not going to try and draw back or any pain, right? And what they're doing is they are looking around online for lots of different solutions. They're watching some videos. They've asked ChatGPT. They've asked Claude. They've asked Gemini. They've asked a friend. They've read some articles online. On average, someone is going to have watched 5 different YouTube videos before they even get to us to actually get an answer to a problem. What they've now got, what this poor person now has, is lots of advice, and it's all conflicting, and they're super overwhelmed. That's the psychological position that I want you to imagine the person who's coming to your door, who's joining your email list, is in. Imagine they're coming and they're almost like got their arms open in front of them with a stack of all the encyclopedias they've been reading through, and they're like, I've read the whole thing, man. I've read the whole thing, and I just don't know where to start. I'm overwhelmed. And one of the books says this, and the other one says, don't do that, and I don't know what to do. It's really, really frustrating. Help me. That's basically what the person's doing. That's what the person's doing when they get to your email list. Because no one is joining an email list before doing loads of research. You don't do it for any of your problems or things you want to achieve, and they're not doing it either, right? So when someone joins your email list, they come to your landing page and they see a big promise in the headline that you make them, and they see a place for them to sign up with their name and their email address, and they get a lovely button that they can press. They're joining your list to try and find a singular answer to their problem. They're looking for the noise cancelling headphones. That's what they're looking for. And that's why whenever we bombard them with value, it doesn't work. Because what you're doing is you're adding more to all of this. You're adding more crazy noise to all of it, right? That's what's going on. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to show them that we can actually help them. We can show them that we can actually help them. We're going to tell them about your system, about your program, about your services. The other problem, and we're going to get into exactly what to put in instead of all this value, but the other problem with these value emails, the reason they don't work, is because usually value emails are long. They're long. You're usually packing all this stuff into these emails, trying to give them all of this value to show. And I know why you're doing it. You're doing it in an effort from your psychology. You're doing it in a place of saying, I need to show people that I really know my stuff and I'm different to what they've tried before. I get that. But the long email, when they receive it, is just more overwhelm. It's another huge encyclopedia in front of them where the person is still friggin' overwhelmed. And it's so much value that they have to wade through and try and find sense from. It adds to their overwhelm. Not only that, but these long value emails for you, they take so damn long to write. No wonder you feel like you haven't got time to be consistent with your emails because every email takes so long. If the email was shorter, then you'd be able to whip one out in 30 minutes. Or with a bit of practice, I've been doing this for more than a decade, I can whip a really good, effective email that's not wading through treacle value. I can do that in like 20 minutes, 10 minutes some days I'm in a hurry. So here's the clue. I want you to just make one point in your email and then tell the person to enroll in your program, apply your solution, to take the next step with you. Go watch that YouTube video, whatever the call to action is going to be. Your emails should never be like a bunch of blog posts with different articles in them, right? If they're wading through your valuable content, they are never going to make it to your call to action. It's like you're giving them a huge mountain to climb up to before they get to do the thing you want them to do. You want them. Remember what you want them to do. You want them to click the link. You want them to reply. You want them to take the next step. And in order to do that, they have to make it to the bottom of the damn email, which is like the top of a freaking mountain for some people because the email's that long. And if there's so much stuff in the way, most people are not going to get that. Right? So that means they might actually never see the thing that you are selling. They might never know you have a call to action. Right? So we have to redefine value. Value does not mean teaching. Value does not mean teaching. It's about helping them to connect the dots so that they realize their path. And that path should be the same one that your program puts them on. And it naturally will. This is not manipulative. It should not be manipulative. The reason this path will naturally be the same one that your program puts them on is because you've designed a program, you've designed a solution that is the best way, the best path to overcome that problem or get them what they want. So naturally, when you're helping them connect the dots, you're helping them realize what this path is. And your path is the best path, so they realize. So what are these emails that we should do? If we don't want to overwhelm people, we don't want them these emails to be so long they take ages. So our own psychology is against us. Our own time is against us. And what we need instead is we need to get people some clarity. So let's go back to the iPad and go through this corpse framework. So there's only these 6 types of pieces you should put into any email, right? So the first one is called connection. And what I mean by connection, I don't know why I did a weird letter there to it. The connection's really important because when someone connects with you, they're now going to trust you. not only are they going to trust you, they're going to trust that you can actually help them. So how do you do it? You create connection through stories. Stories about your day-to-day life, right? Stories about, hey, we went to the theater last night and we saw this cool play. Stories about, hey, my kid was homesick today, so I couldn't do any work. Whatever your story happens to be. By doing stories about your everyday life, what happens here is you humanize. They see you as a human being, not just someone who shows up and sells stuff. Not just as a person who is selling them stuff all the time. They see you as a person where offering what you do is just part of your life. But the only way they could possibly understand that is if you show them the other parts of your life. The other type of thing you can do is share your personal journey. Your personal journey with what you teach, the results you've experienced, and then the results you've helped other people get. So sharing your personal journey lets them realize, hey, I've been where you are. Like me, I've been where I'm like, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to pay the rent? I had to move back home with my mum at the age of 24 because I'd run out of money and I couldn't even afford a real laptop. I had to buy this little open source laptop and I created an ebook and started selling it. It was really tough. Like, I've been there and I know we've all been there. There are things that in your world with the thing you do which also connect to your people, whether it's a pain that they're in their relationship, in their body, in their spirituality, whatever it happens to be. So the first type of content is connection stuff, and we do that through the telling of stories, different types of stories. The O in Corpse is objection handling. Objection handling is really important. And sometimes people call this belief shifting, right? But it's what it really is, if we're getting really serious about this, is that it's objection handling. There are beliefs that each of us have in our heads. It's programmed into us. These are the programs and the patterns we run in our heads, psychologically speaking, based on experiences, things we've heard, things we've really taken to heart. Might have been an off-the-cuff or an offhand line or a one line we read in a book. But we've built up these beliefs in our heads. And that means we believe things that stop us taking action. We all have them for all areas of our lives. We have beliefs around price and money. That's too expensive for that, or that's too cheap for that, so it's suspicious. Or about, I should go on vacation to that country, or I shouldn't go on vacation to that country. We all have all of these different beliefs that are stopping us from taking action. And when we look at this, it's usually that people are saying, oh, this won't work for me, or I'm doomed, or it's never going to happen for me, or this is just never going to work in my situation because, and then they insert their belief. What we're going to do here in objection handling is we're going to show them that other people have had that belief before. They're not the first, so that's good. They're not unique. Oh, good. And therefore, just like if you were the first person to get a horrible disease, I hope you're not, but people will be like, oh my God, the first person to ever have it, and there's no cure. If we're not the first person to ever have that objection, then good, there must be some hope for me then. Therefore what? Okay, good. Well, you've got this objection. You believe you can't do it because of this. But the good news is, here's why that's not the case. You'll be relieved to know. In fact, I have a whole system for how you actually handle objections in a way that empowers them rather than comes across as sort of antagonizing and confrontational. If you'd like me to do a detailed video on objections and how you do that, just let me know in the comments, type the word objection or say I'd like to see the video about objection handling or something like that. And I'll make sure I make that if there's enough interest. So that's the second thing. So we're going to tell stories and do things which are about really confronting and acknowledging objections. People think we couldn't do this because of that, and that's not true because, and then prove to them why that's the case. Give them the actual case. So I'll give you an example of that. People come to me with the objection of, I'm not a very good writer, all the time. And I say, do you know what? Most of the people who are having the best results from me are actually the people who are the poorest writers. And I'll tell you why. I actually work with a person called Valerie, who's a fantastic fiction author. And she coaches other fiction authors. She's amazing. But when it comes to actually concisely communicating her marketing, she finds it really hard because she's got all of this authorship and all of this amazing language she can use. she finds really stripping out all of that drama and excitement and all of that writer, that creative writer inside of her. Stripping all that stuff out, really, really hard. Whereas if you can just write how you talk, people are going to hear that. They're going to see how real you are, and you're going to be so much better at marketing, especially by email. That's an objection handling type of email, just waiting to be refined and turned from spoken word into the written word, okay? So that's an example. Okay, the R. This is what I call realization. This is where you get the person to think, oh my, I hadn't thought of that, right? And it's really important that we get people to have these little, it doesn't have to be like oh my gosh, cripes, I changed my world, paint the walls a different color and dye my hair blue. It doesn't have to be like that kind of realization. But you have to have them realize something. For example, it might be that this is affecting more than you first thought. So for example, if you're somebody who helps people with back pain, let's go with that example again, right? Your back pain is not just affecting how your back hurts, but it's probably affecting your sleep, which means you don't have really good conversation with people anymore. It's possibly affecting your relationship with your kids. In fact, you can't go out with them anymore and go down that slide with them, or is it affecting your retirement? So that could be and it's just an example of a realization. But it has to be, these realizations are just moments of, I hadn't thought of it that way before. That's really valuable, but without this deep teaching stuff that we all do so much into, okay? So realization, having those moments of, I hadn't thought of it like that. And a great way of doing that is metaphor. I tell stories. I use silly metaphors. I mentioned earlier about the big pile of encyclopedias in front of you. Those realizations, what's what I do on these bits of content that I make for you every week, right? Is I allow you to have these realizations of, I hadn't thought of it like that. Like, had you thought of value and big, long teaching emails as the answer before this video? Potentially. And hopefully now you're having the realization that actually that's weighting people down, slowing people down, overwhelming them. It's not the answer, okay? The next one, prioritizing, right? And this is where we make sure that people realize that they should fix this situation now. And you can do that in a few different ways. One of them is what I call personal urgency. So what's going to be the consequence for you if you don't get this working for you right now? If you don't fix your back pain, what's going to happen? Will you be able to go on? What have you got coming up? Oh, I'm supposed to be going to Disney World. Do you want to still be in a lot of back pain when you have to stand at the side of Big Thunder Mountain and watch everybody else whizzing around? You're still the guy standing there holding the coats and the jackets and the bags? No, right? That's a personal urgency. The other one is called external urgency. An external urgency is, you'll see this a lot of times, it's, hey, we're only opening up enrollment on this thing until Friday. We're only accepting 10 places. The first 10 people can come in because it's an in-person mastermind. Or, hey, there's a big countdown timer, so the sale ends on Saturday. It's external urgency where you add that additional pressure. The reason we need to do this is because until somebody realizes and has brought to the surface that this is an urgent problem they need to fix now, they're going to continue just reading your emails and absorbing more content and becoming more overwhelmed until we get them to get off the fence and actually take a bloody action, right? So prioritizing. The fifth one is one I never want you to, please don't forget this one, right? It's called signposting. And a lot of the people who teach email marketing, especially if they're more from like a content marketing background, and they're like, oh, we should be giving value. And here I'm obviously showing you the 6 different types of value. We've still got one more to go here, the E. But they'll forget this one. They'll forget signposting because this is really important. You have to have some emails that are just saying, go get it. Here's the thing. Go get the thing. And this is a great example is, hey, my 50% sale on my program is open now. Go. Or we just opened enrollment for my program. Go. It's the signposting. It's, I just launched my latest YouTube video. Go. Watch it. I just dropped my new podcast episode. Go watch it. Tickets for my event that I'm speaking at are available now. Go watch it. Signposting. Hey, go do this. Look what's happening over there. Register for that. Signposting is really important. People want to know what they can get from you. And most importantly, you want them to go there. A lot of people don't do signposting content, which means their call to action, the next step that they want them to take, is always buried inside of all of these stories. And sometimes, if people have got a busy day or they've got a very busy inbox that day and they're scrolling through it, they sometimes just need to know what's going on. Oh my God, I would have missed that if it was buried in the middle of a story because I haven't really got time at the minute. It's not really my personality style to read through stories. That's cool. That's what the signposting content's for. You don't want to do that all the time. But signposting is really important. This is me giving you the permission right now to sometimes just say, here's what I've got. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's how you get it. Right? Have you got this problem? I've got this solution. Here's where you go. Here's what you do next. You click here, you apply. You click here, you fill out the call booking. You click here, you buy the program. You click here, you buy your ticket. You click here, you watch my YouTube video. Signposting can be done to free content and to paid content. And the final one is, I'm going to write it over here because I've doodled all over the damn thing. Evidence. Why should we believe you? We want to have evidence inside of every single email. And the way you make your evidence more believable is you be specific. So when I talk about, hey, I've helped more than 9,000 paying clients, I show you the screenshot there from inside of my Stripe account. And I'm like, there you go. I'm not saying I've helped a few thousand clients. I'm showing you. When I say I've made more than $3 million online just from this one Stripe account, that doesn't include my other 2 Stripe accounts or my PayPal or direct deposits, I show you it. It's $3.11 million. Like, we're being specific. The specificity tells us, oh, this is not a generalization, because a generalization sounds like a lie. So the way we do that is we be specific. We show screenshots like that. Hey, I made this. Or, and if you're not in a money-making niche, hey, this is a person who had chronic back pain. Okay, and they came to me and there's a picture of them all hunched over and in pain. And then, even if you don't have the after picture, and we work with them for X amount of time, they follow my thing, and then if you get a photo of them on the log flume or on some kind of water ride or coming down, great thought, whatever, one of the rides, that is visual proof that this person now obviously doesn't have back pain anymore. How do we show the proof? And the way I want you to think about evidence is I want you to think about a framework that I came up with, about 7 years ago or something like that. And I use it all the time. And it stands for say it, prove it. Sippy. If I say something in an email or in a video or anywhere in a presentation, I like to try and prove it. So that's why every time I talk about how many clients I've helped, I like to show you. Or if I say, hey, it doesn't have to be money. It could be, hey, I was speaking on stage the other week in front of about 1,000 people, and what I shared with them was, right? Well, I want the belief system in my email list of my readers and everybody who watches me to understand that when I tell you something, I always tell the truth. I am brutal about the truth. So if I want you to realize that, and I need to remind you of that on a subconscious level, using your inner psychology, not your conscious brain, not on the surface, then I'm going to continuously prove it. So I say, I was speaking on stage at this event for over 1,000 people. I put a photo of me on stage where you can see the silhouettes at the back of the people's heads, and I'm standing on stage giving my presentation. When you do all of this, our one job we want to do is we want to create clarity. We don't want to, I want you to shift the meaning of the word in your brain. In fact, because we've got such tight associations with this word value and what that means, it's like teaching all the stuff and giving lots of detail, which as we know now, overwhelms people, creates paralysis by analysis. They can't move on. They don't get the solution. You don't get the sale. Nobody bloody wins. I want you to, instead of thinking about putting value in your emails, I want you to think about putting clarity in your emails. Clarity that there is a solution. Thank goodness, big relief. Thank fuck for that. There is a solution. Secondly, even if what you have tried before didn't work, you can still have a solution. You've tried all the lotions and potions, the different strategies, the different frameworks. It didn't work. It's okay. And clarity that you have a solution and it works. If you follow this corpse framework, you will create those 3 types of clarity: that there is a solution, even if what you tried before in the past didn't work, and you've got a solution that actually works. And you won't be teaching. You won't be piling on more and more options and things to do and things to consider and choices to make. Now, of course, when you do that, you're going to send out emails, and your emails might be failing. You might not be very happy with some of the emails that you send out. So I want to give you the exact process of how you actually turn failing emails into blockbuster winners that actually bring in sales. So watch this video next. I'll show you exactly what to do that.